The Galactic Medical Consortium had sent their finest. Dr. Vel-Taran of the crystalline healer caste stood 8 feet tall, her translucent body pulsing with bioluminescent healing energies that had mended wounds across 17 star systems. Beside her, Chief Medical Officer Crixton's 4 arms moved in precise surgical patterns, each limb capable of cellular reconstruction at the molecular level. Behind them, a team of 12 elite xenobiology specialists floated in their sterile containment suits, their advanced medical scanners humming with anticipation. They had come to observe humanity's primitive medical practices as part of the consortium's comprehensive study of Earth's barbaric civilization. The reports were contradictory somehow. These crude bipeds had survived plagues, wars, and natural disasters that should have wiped out their entire species. The consortium needed to understand how. The year was 2157, and humanity had just made first contact with the galactic community 3 months prior. Earth's medical technology was laughably primitive compared to the energy-based healing matrices and nano-reconstruction chambers used throughout the galaxy. Yet human survival rates in extreme conditions defied all statistical models. Dr. Sarah Chen, Chief Medical Officer at the New Geneva Research Station, greeted the alien delegation with professional courtesy. She was a compact woman in her 50s, her graying hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, wearing standard-issue medical scrubs that looked almost medieval compared to the aliens' sophisticated biosuits. "Welcome to our field medical facility," Dr. Chen said, gesturing toward what appeared to be nothing more than canvas stretched over metal poles. "We've set up a typical emergency medical tent to demonstrate our trauma protocols." Vel-Taran's crystal-clear features flickered with barely concealed amusement. Through her universal translator, her voice chimed like wind through crystal caves. "Dr. Chen, surely this is not where you perform actual medical procedures? This appears to be temporary shelter." "Oh, this is quite functional," Dr. Chen replied, lifting the tent flap. "We've treated everything from battlefield trauma to complex surgeries in setups just like this. Would you like to see our current patients?" The alien delegation exchanged glances that conveyed superior confidence. They had observed medical facilities on dozens of world's sterile environments with force field barriers, atmospheric purifiers, and quantum-level contamination protocols. What they were about to witness would either confirm humanity's primitive status or reveal something unexpected. As they stepped inside the tent, the first thing that struck them was the smell. Where galactic medical facilities maintained perfect atmospheric neutrality, the human tent carried the scent of antiseptic mixed with something else, something organic and disturbingly biological. The second thing they noticed was the noise. Instead of the peaceful hum of energy-based healing chambers, the tent buzzed with activity. Human medical personnel moved between patients with rapid efficiency, their voices creating a constant stream of communication. Machines beeped, motors whirred, and underneath it all was the sound of breathing, heartbeats, and life itself. But it was the third observation that caused the first medic to falter. In the center of the tent, Dr. Chen was working on a patient whose leg had been nearly severed in a construction accident. Without any energy fields or molecular reconstructors, she was physically reattaching bone, muscle, and tissue using nothing but her hands, primitive tools, and synthetic materials. Crixton's 4 arms began trembling. In crystalline medical practice, such extensive physical damage would require complete molecular disassembly and reconstruction in a quantum healing matrix. The idea of manually manipulating organic tissue while the patient remained conscious was incomprehensible. "The patient is awake," Vel-Taran whispered, her bioluminescent patterns flickering erratically. "You're performing surgery on a conscious being." "Local anesthetic," Dr. Chen explained without looking up from her work. "He can't feel the procedure, But yes, he's awake. We often talk to our patients during surgery. It helps them stay calm. Mr. Rodriguez, how are you feeling? The patient, a middle-aged construction worker, managed a weak smile. Been better, doc, but I trust you. Fix me up so I can get back to work. The casual interaction between doctor and patient caused two more alien medics to stagger backward. In their sterile, energy-based medical systems, patients were rendered completely unconscious and isolated during treatment. The concept of maintaining personal connection during such vulnerable moments was alien to their antiseptic methodology.
In the center of the tent, Dr. Chun was working on a patient whose leg had been nearly severed in a construction accident. Without any energy fields or molecular reconstructors, she was physically reattaching bone, muscle, and tissue using nothing but her hands, primitive tools, and synthetic materials. Crickston's forearms began trembling. In crystalline medical practice, such extensive physical damage would require complete molecular disassembly and reconstruction in a quantum healing matrix. The idea of manually manipulating organic tissue while the patient remained conscious was incomprehensible. "The patient is awake," Velteran whispered, her bioluminescent patterns flickering erratically. "You're performing surgery on a conscious being." "Local anesthetic," Dr. Chen explained without looking up from her work. "He can't feel the procedure, but yes, he's awake. We often talk to our patients during surgery. It helps them stay calm." "Mr. Rodriguez, how are you feeling?" The patient, a middle-aged construction worker, managed a weak smile. "Been better, doc, but I trust you. Fix me up so I can get back to work." The casual interaction between doctor and patient caused two more alien medics to stagger backward. In their sterile, energy-based medical systems, patients were rendered completely unconscious and isolated during treatment. The concept of maintaining personal connection during such vulnerable moments was alien to their antiseptic methodology. Dr. Chun continued working, her hands moving with practiced precision inside the patient's leg. Blood, actual biological fluid, stained her gloves as she repaired damaged vessels and reattached torn ligaments. Each movement was deliberate, confident, almost artistic in its efficiency. "In cases like this," she explained to her increasingly pale audience, "we have about 6 hours to restore circulation before tissue death becomes irreversible. We're working against time, using whatever tools are available, in whatever conditions we find ourselves." Specialist Nixera, whose race had eliminated physical medical intervention millennia ago, watched in horrified fascination as Dr. Chan literally sewed the patient's flesh back together with synthetic thread. The primitive brutality of it was overwhelming. Yet somehow the patient's vital signs remained stable. As Dr. Chun moved to repair the major artery, her hands slipped slightly on the blood-slicked instruments. Without hesitation, she adjusted her grip and continued working. The alien observers gasped collectively. In their sterile energy medicine, such imprecision would be impossible. Their healing matrices operated with quantum-level accuracy. But what happened next broke their composed scientific detachment entirely. The patient's blood pressure suddenly dropped. Alarms began sounding from the monitoring equipment. Dr. Chen's hands never stopped moving as she called out, "I need 2 units of O-negative now." A human nurse rushed forward with bags of dark red fluid. Dr. Chun grabbed one, bit off the protective cap with her teeth, and began manually squeezing blood directly into the patient's circulatory system while simultaneously continuing the vascular repair. The sight of a medical professional using her own mouth to access life-saving fluid, then physically forcing that fluid into another being's body through raw determination and improvisation, was more than the alien delegation could process. Velteran's crystalline structure began fracturing from shock. Crickston's forearms went completely limp. One by one, the elite xenobiology specialists collapsed in their sterile containment suits, overwhelmed by the visceral reality of human medicine. Dr. Chun, still working to save her patient's leg, glanced over at the pile of unconscious alien medics. "Nurse Patterson, could you get our guests some chairs and maybe some water when they wake up? I think our methods were a bit more hands-on than they expected." 20 minutes later, As Mr. Rodriguez was wheeled to recovery with his leg successfully reattached, the alien medics began regaining consciousness. Velterun was the first to speak, her voice trembling through the translator. "Dr. Chan," she whispered, "how do you maintain such precision while working in such organic conditions?" Dr. Chan smiled, washing the blood from her hands in an ordinary sink with simple soap and water. "Practice, I suppose. But more importantly, we never forget that we're not just fixing bodies, we're saving people. Mr. Rodriguez has 3 children and a wife who depend on him. That gives you steady hands when the equipment fails or conditions aren't perfect." As the alien delegation prepared to leave, Crixton approached Dr. Chun with something approaching reverence. "In our medical systems, we eliminate variables, control environments, remove uncertainty. But you embrace the chaos and still succeed." "Chaos?" Dr. Chin laughed. "This was a quiet day. You should see us during a natural disaster or a battlefield situation. That's when human medicine really shines." The alien medics filed out of the tent in stunned silence, their advanced medical theories shattered by the reality of human resilience, improvisation, and the stubborn refusal to let death win. Even when armed with nothing more than determination, primitive tools, and the absolute certainty that every life was worth saving. In their final report to the Galactic Medical Consortium, they would recommend immediate establishment of human medical exchange programs. Not to teach humans advanced techniques, but to learn something their sterile perfection had forgotten. That the most sophisticated medical technology in the universe was the human heart that refused to give up.